dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Richmond Raceway for the Umpire Appreciation 150 from the Boughton Enterprises Transportation LLC. Wow, these guys have been off a week, and it has been a busy week in the NASCAR world as we get set to tackle one of my personal favorite racetracks, being a KB fan, but had a lot of wins here, so we'll get these guys started. They are still doing their eliminator, but we had a driver call in a provisional, so it looks like he is going to be out this week as all the rest of the drivers showed up, and that's going to be Pete Walsh. Go put that in the back pocket. Set your sights on victory lane here tonight as these guys get ready to take on 150 miles here at Richmond. I'm Mike Timoni in the booth. Joined with me, as always, is Joe Manella. Joe, man, how's it going?
Not too bad, Mike. I am excited to see these guys get going here at Richmond Raceway. One of short track's finest racetracks here at Richmond. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys battle it out in 200 laps.
Yeah, 200 laps, 150 miles. Last time they were on track was a couple weeks ago when we saw John Osborne take home the victory at Charlotte Motor Speedway, running a little bit further than they usually do. They ran 233 laps there. Tyler Boughton was second with Adam Boughton there coming in third. Tristan Bailey fourth. Last week's eliminated Dwayne Furtick after a little incident with Bailey. But they've set their sights on victory lane this week as qualifying's just about ready to wrap up, and surprise, surprise, it looks like they're going to be on the front row.
Yeah, and I don't think the the little incident from last week is going to cause any animosity. These guys are pretty good at putting things behind them and moving on. So we should still see an interesting race from everybody with those two. Again, being on the front row, it's going to be real important for track position here. Try and get out and try and get the preferred line that you'd like to run, and kind of hope that the race is rather clean.
Yeah, definitely. These guys get like 4 sets of tires tonight. I'm going to assume that's going to put the fuel window, probably going to want to try and get as close as you can to 65, 70 laps. And hope that kind of gets you out in front where you need to be.
Yeah, depending on how these guys strategize, definitely going to be a minimum of 3 stops, whichever way you look at it. And of course, obviously, you have cautions and all that stuff in the mix, but shouldn't be too difficult for these guys to strategize, and we'll see whose strategy pays off in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody's getting ready to get in their cars here. See if we can go down track side here. Yeah. So Tristan Bailey is going to be starting on the pole. Dwayne Furtick just to his outside. Osborne and Christopher Howell going to roll off in row 2. Get this grid rolling here. Tristan Bailey, Dwayne Furtick, as I said, in row 1. Row 2, Osborne and Christopher Howell. Row 3, Randy Meeks and Tyler Boughton. Jonathan Dominiques and Douglas King make up row 4. Row 5 is Chris Evans and Gary Nash. Ryan McCall and Michael Carter make up row number 6. P13 is Ethan Brooks with Christopher Roth just his outside. Anthony Ludi and Doug Denise make up row 8. Row 9, Kent Mueller and Adam Boughton. Aaron Miller is going to start in 19th, shotgun on the field, see where he can work his way through here.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just over here coughing my brains out. I had some water go down the wrong pipe.
These guys get ready to hit the track. How do you think this race is going to kind of shape up here?
Well, I anticipate off the initial start within a few laps, I feel like we're going to get a caution. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of of Richmond. But I mean, if these guys can settle in and get kind of single file as quickly as possible, that's gonna prolong the runs here. So I think whoever is going to be able to stick to the bottom and maintain the most speed and be able to pass on the outside, because I feel like passing on the outside is going to come into play here, unless the guy in front of you makes a mistake and washes up the track. So whoever's able to kind of do that, manage their tires, I think is going to come away with a really good finish.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like the strategy that is going to have to be used here. Definitely want to make sure you stay in that preferred line and keep that track position, because sometimes Richmond can be a little bit hard to pass at. Pace car is in. Tristan Bailey with the button as he gets ready to hit that restart zone. Green flag in the air, and we are underway here for the Umpire Appreciation 150 from Richmond.
Yeah, no surprise here. Tristan Bailey getting a really good restart. He's in a good position right now, out there all by himself with these guys behind him battling for position, which is definitely going to play a factor here.
Yeah, definitely. Once you get that clean air, if you don't have anybody to battle, that is only going to make your car seem a little bit faster, as those guys are getting a little bit slower side by side. Racing back there for P3, Christopher Howell and John Osborne.
Looks like a lot of these guys have kind of done what I thought they were going to do and try and get single file pretty early here and look to just make the passes as they come to you.
Yeah, they got single file pretty quick. I saw John Osborne. Looks like he was running about a half a lane-ish, maybe a little more up. And it looked like Tristan Bailey was, or Tristan Bailey, Tyler Burton was going to get to the inside, and he does that just now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is most of these guys' first time on this track with the new horsepower package, so that's definitely going to play a hand in here as they come off the corners.
Yeah, side by side now for first and second. Furtick going down to the inside, trying to press his nose in there, as Christopher Howell does the same thing to Osborne. And Furtick clears.
Yeah, amazing job by Furtick being able to close that gap off of Bailey's initial start and get out in front. And, clean air is going to be king, so whoever's going to be able to get out in front is going to be able to drive their car the best.
Yeah, you get that preferred line. You get to kind of sit where you want, as Osborne and Howell still have not given each other any room here. Howell driving it in, gets almost clear. Osborne battling back on the high side. He's going to keep Howell down on the bottom. Ooh, Osborne with a massive run there for a moment. Thought he was going to get side by side there with Tristan Bailey. Not quite enough momentum there.
Yeah, if you've got good steering and throttle control, you can really make that high side work.
Definitely looks like he's found a little something there. He's able to get by Howell now and kind of riding just off the bumper there of Bailey. Looking back through the field, Michael Carter is on a flyer. He's up 5 spots now as he gets by Randy Meeks since the start of this race, moves him up into position 7.
Yeah, I wouldn't write too many guys off here at Richmond. Excuse me. It really is anybody's race because, man, short tracks are just so difficult, and you think you're settling in a groove, and then you get a little bit too comfortable, and you make a mistake. So definitely going to be paying attention to that.
Yeah, it looks like Christopher Howell made a mistake. Lost a little bit of ground there. And Tristan Bailey almost let Osborne go. Tried to get back into that preferred line, and he's going to just follow behind here as Osborne closes into second.
Yeah, I mean, we've got about 187 laps left, so still plenty of time to work as we see Bailey making the crossover, getting on the inside of Osborne right here. So looks like these guys are going to be going back and forth pretty much the whole entire race until somebody just runs away with it. So
yeah, Osborne gets a good run on that high side as he is now up front, and he is going to lead that lap. And he is starting to drive away. It was just a massive run there by the 11 Chevy of John Osborne. Tristan Bailey now going to stick his nose into the inside of Furtick. Furtick battles back on the high side, going to stay in P2 for now. And Osborne just drove away. Wow, he's out to already almost a second lead. And back through the field. Christopher Roth up a couple spots. Ethan Brooks maintaining his position for the moment there as Ludi goes by on the bottom. Boughton back here in 15th, up 3 spots after having a dismal qualifying effort. He was sitting P2 after a few laps of practice. Tyler Burton, Jonathan Dominic's going side by side.
And we see that 06 car of Tyler Burton working that outside line. He's making that work just like John Osborne is, so don't automatically think that the high line is going to be the slower line. If you can make it work, back up your entry and get a good run off the exit like some of the NASCAR's greatest, like Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, all great runners on the top line. So do not rule it out at all.
Yeah, no, we saw Osborne use that high line to get the lead, and now he is driving away almost a second still. Furtick back there in second with Tristan Bailey, Christopher Howell, and Tyler Burton, the top 5. Guys still kind of trying to close in. Here's Michael Carter. Michael Carter was fairly quick after the initial restart there, or initial start of the races. He is up 5 spots, but can't quite close in on the top 6 here. As Jonathan Dominic's is still about a half second up in front of this 18 machine.
Yeah, you know, Mike, we really haven't even gotten into the nitty-gritty of this race so far, the real difficult part of racing at short tracks, which is going to be the lap traffic. So these guys, at some point in this race, they're going to have to work around lap traffic. They're going to have to be creative, and they're going to have to, you know, hope that the lap traffic doesn't slow them down enough to where somebody can get past them and they lose track position.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. You see these guys making their way around the track. Right now, their last lap time was a 22:31 and a 22:16 for the top 2 or 3 there. And they are approximately 12 seconds ahead of the last place driver there in Kent Mueller. So, got about 10 seconds or so before 10 seconds of lap times to kind of reel in here.
Yeah, and it does look like you've got Dwayne Furtick and Tristan Bailey running just a tad bit faster than John Osborne. But I anticipate if they continue to stay side by side in battle, they might fall off just a little bit. You see Tristan Bailey really wrapping that bottom and getting a really good exit off the corner. That is going to be what you're going to have to do in order to gain track position and to stay ahead. So, well, we're still going to be keeping an eye on everybody here and see who's going to outlast. Oh, look at those brake rotors just on fire.
Take a better look here of Tristan Bailey. Look how red those brake rotors are. That is spicy hot there.
Yeah, you can almost cook a tomahawk steak in 30 seconds on that thing.
And Bailey almost bounces off of Osborne. Side by side they go. Osborne on the high line, Bailey on the bottom. Coming out of turn 4 to the start-finish line. Like Bailey's going to lead that lap.
Yeah, Richmond is really, you know, it's differently shaped than other short tracks like Martinsville and Bristol. However, it drives kind of similar to Martinsville, where you have to be really fast on the straightaways, and then you have to slow the car down tremendously, put that weight on the front tires in proportion to be able to control it and drive around these corners.
You can see Tristan Bailey got around, and now he is starting to pull away a little bit. I wonder if maybe these guys realize they're wearing their tires a little bit, driving that high line as soon as they did, and keeping those lap times low. And now they're kind of maybe regretting it just a little bit here.
Yeah, that's the downside to running the high line, right? You can get really good speed, really good momentum coming off the corners on the high side, but it's going to be at the cost of that right rear. So you're going to see a lot of these guys run the high line for a few laps, try and get those tires cooled down, but sometimes they could just be too far gone, and that's just something that you're going to have to work with and manage throughout the run.
Yeah, it's definitely something you're going to have to try and figure out. Also figure out when you're going to need to pit. I know most of these drivers are going to try and basically run it, especially here in this first run, until that tank's about empty. But they have got it single filed out, and they are just cooking some laps here. Looks like we've got Christopher Roth in the pit lane. Looks like he came in on lap 25, so might have had some issues there on that 62 Ford.
Yeah, we didn't have a caution come out, so he might not have spun out. He could have got into the wall pretty good, or he's just not liking the way his car's driving and to come down, make some adjustments, and get back out there and try and get some laps back. But if we take a look at the back of the field with Kent Mueller, he really hasn't fallen off too much. He was sitting at about 12 seconds. He's only lost about 2 seconds in the last 15 or so laps. So as long as he can maintain the speed that he's at, and hopefully Tristan Bailey, for his sake, maintains the speed that he's at, he might just stick this thing out and not go a lap down so early in the race.
Yeah, his last lap time was a 22:65. The leader was a 22:48. So, a couple tenths a lap is not going to equate to 10 seconds fairly quickly. So he's got a while to roll around here and make some adjustments if needed.
Yeah, and sometimes you just get stuck in the rear. I mean, the whole pack can be running similar lap times, and it's just the luck of the draw. It's just where you fall in the line.
Yeah, you mess up one little qualifying run, you find yourself in the back half of the field, and you have to try and work your way around it and work through it. As you see Aaron Miller move up into P12, up 7 spots, biggest mover of the race so far.
Yeah, he's got to be careful, though, with that corner entries. I think that's just the product of staying on the throttle a little bit too long as he got around Adam Boughton there and just drove it in just a little too hard and was forced to wash up the track and slow his momentum down and gain control. So definitely something that you don't want to do too often, especially late in a race, because that can definitely cost you 1, if not 2 or 3 positions. Osborne back to the lead, and we see Tristan Bailey is falling down 5 spots. I wonder what exactly happened there.
We'll take a look here.
I'm going to think he got free here on exit and went to the bottom of the track. Oh, contact with Osborne.
Osborne washed up the track, and
good save though by Tristan Bailey. Still gonna he's still in this thing.
Yeah, just lost a few spots in the track position, but still at the tail end of this group. Has to work his way back through though.
Yeah, well, we've still got 157 laps to go here, so he's got plenty of time.
Pit stops and all.
Yeah, because, I mean, we know Tristan Bailey's going to do what Tristan Bailey does, and he's going to pit at lap 70 or later if he saves enough fuel. So he's definitely going to end up back up front in some capacity and, you know, I hate to say it, more than likely win this race. But like I said, it's still anybody's race. You see how tight these guys are racing up front. So all it takes is for one mistake, as we've seen Osborne sliding up the track and getting into Bailey, and you know, it's anyone's game at that point.
Yeah, it definitely is. Dwayne Furtick looks like he's lost a little bit of speed in that 51 machine, as now he is back to fourth. Christopher Howell up to second. Tyler Burton up to third here. 46 laps in of the Umpire Appreciation 150.
Yeah, Christopher Howell, he looks like he's settled in. He looks like he's running a really smooth line, and he is up 2 positions from where he started. So we will definitely keep an eye on him, as well as the rest of the drivers, at least in the top 10, if not everybody else.
You know, Christopher Roth back out on track. I was trying to. It looks like he's going to be just in front of the leader. So multiple laps down, though, is that 62 Ford.
Yeah, this is where it's he'll be the first one to make it interesting. I'm curious to see if I mean, being 20 laps down, it's not like he's got a fight to stay in the lead lap, so he might just get out of the way. But still, never a it's never a calming sight as a leader coming up on lapped traffic and not knowing what you're going to do.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing you have to pay attention to here, as Osborne is slowly growing his lead again out to 3/4 of a second. Christopher Howell just hanging back here in second, has 0.3 of a second over Tyler Burton. Burdick and Jonathan Dominic's all right there, as Tristan Bailey is into 6th.
Yeah, you know, in my opinion, what these guys need to be running right now is what I like to call maintenance laps, right? Just maintain your tires, maintain your speed, maintain your momentum, and not do anything egregious, right? If you can do that and just maintain, that's what's going to help set you up for the win or at least a podium finish at the end.
Yeah, if you can maintain your stuff and, I mean, even run a couple laps farther, it might set you up to have a little bit shorter run at the end of the race. So
Absolutely.
we'll see how this all works out as Aaron Miller gets another spot just outside the top 10 now, running P11 in front of McCall and Adam Boughton there. Got that 94 machine rolling through too. He's up 6 spots.
And if you look at the lap times here, I mean, everybody is running within a couple of hundredths, or if not, only 1 or 2 tenths. If you look at Christopher Roth, he's running a 22.76, and Osborne's running a 22.72. So he's almost matching their leaders' lap times.
Yeah, Christopher Roth came out of the pits and he is putting down quick times, 22:29 last lap. But that is with those fresh tires, so. Tyler Burden made it by Christopher Howell. Still about 7 tenths back.
And sometimes you may not, want to necessarily pass the guy in front of you, right? But sometimes, they're just running slower than you and you have no choice. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Passing a car and getting lap position is always good. But, and it's always good to do it when the guy in front of you is slower and not when you have to try and push to get around and risk damaging your stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely not. As we're checking in here on Tristan Bailey. Tristan Bailey had that little incident with Osborne, got pushed back to sixth or seventh position. He is currently 4th after getting by Dwayne Furtick, and now he is closing in on the 1 machine. But it looks like he might be overdriving the corners just a little bit there, allowing Furtick to kind of hang on.
Yeah, he's either overdriving just a little bit or he's running a little bit more of a diamond line. It's kind of difficult to tell unless you're, really analyzing it or whatever. But yeah, he just let's take a look. Let's go on board with Tristan Bailey here and just take a look at exactly what kind of line he's running. A little bit of a diamond there on 3 and 4.
Yeah, definitely looks like 3 and 4. He has a little bit of a diamond into it to try and get a lower exit. Trying to get to the inside of Christopher Howell. Did be able to do it this time by.
He gets to the inside, doesn't quite clear him just yet. Just going to have to work another corner or two. Gets the bumper out in front of the nose of Christopher Howell, so he'll go ahead and complete that pass and move up to 3rd.
So Bailey, Burden, and Osborne are the top 3. Getting close to seeing when everybody's going to decide to come to pit lane.
If we think back to that incident between John Osborne and Tristan Bailey, and looking at the way that Tristan Bailey is running his lines, it's almost like Osborne tried to just cut down the bottom of Tristan Bailey's diamond, and I think that's where the contact happened. Luckily, it wasn't significant, as we saw Tristan Bailey's car does not look like it's got any damage at all on it. So
yeah, no, looks pretty good.
Yeah, rather clean. Looks like Tristan Bailey is, excuse me, is honoring and remembering. I believe the name on that is Justin Davis. 1997 to 2026. 29 years old.
All these young people.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. You never know. I'm gonna quote Kyle Busch. You never know when the last one's gonna be. So, it's really important that we, we soak in every moment. We live life to the fullest, and for these race car drivers out here and in real life and in iRacing, get out there and do what you love.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's still a very honorable and noble thing for Tristan Bailey to honor and remember Justin Davis, whoever that is in relation to him.
Yeah, speaking of honoring, the ECR NextGen Cup Series is going to be heading to Chicagoland in a couple weeks. 6/13 to be exact, for the Rowdy Memorial 234.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
So 234 laps at Chicagoland.
Chicago was one of my favorite tracks. Wouldn't necessarily say it's higher on the favorite list, but it's definitely top 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some more tracks so I can have a top 5 list of tracks I've been to. Anyway.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife at the Coca-Cola 600. She didn't really like Charlotte that much. She really absolutely loves Richmond, and I'm just like, I love them both. I'm just like, you're crazy. You don't like Charlotte? Jeez. One of the most, if not the most favorite famous NASCAR track. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, not like all the things you can do if you go to Charlotte. There is the pit window has started. Aaron Miller, Anthony Ludi comes in, with all the race shops right there, and everybody just doing a lot of fan appreciation stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool to go see.
Yeah, I mean, it's the birthplace of NASCAR. We had you got the NASCAR Hall of Fame. We had the Sim Racing Expo that came to Charlotte. So tons of stuff to do.
Brian McCall going a lap down as he is headed to pit lane.
And these guys are looks like they're stretching it just a little bit on the outside of the top end of the fuel window. So we'll have to see when they pit to see just how far they can push it.
I was thinking 80% should be 65, maybe 75, but these guys might be going a little bit farther. But when you do the percentage, you never know exactly how far it's going to run.
No, and I'm horrible at math, so if it's not single digits, so it's multiple, and it's addition or subtraction. Anything other than that, I'm gonna use a calculator.
Well, this just goes to show you we'll have this pit stop and one more. They can make it this far. They can definitely make it to the 150 mark or thereabouts and close it out with the 50-lap short run there.
Because I do believe on 100% fuel, I think you start the race with about 140, being able to run with 140 laps. So 60% of 140, let's see. 84, so 140 minus 84, Yeah, so they should be able to make it about 84 or so laps if they're running 60 to 70% fuel.
And we'll see. We'll see when Osborne comes in. Dominic's coming in. Ryan McCall in. I thought he came in last time. It is a rough pit lane to get into, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dominic's comes out just in front of Osborne there. See if he can get up to speed before Osborne runs him over. Osborne's still staying out. Has all these cars on new tires burning past him real quick. And that's the other thing at these short tracks. You come to pit lane under green flag conditions, you're losing more than one lap.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to take a while for this pit cycle to fully complete and for these guys to get back on the lead lap. As with any short track, but that just, it makes it a little bit more difficult in the mindset to think, hey, I'm going to pit, but I'm going to go 2 laps down. And, when you think about it in hindsight, once everybody pits, you'll be back on the lead lap.
Yeah. Like we got 3 drivers who are a lap down who didn't come to pit lane, so. Sounds like Osborne might be coming in this time. Let's see if I'm right. Nope, still rolling. So there's the 84 laps.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit more than that.
Bailey made it up to second now. He's 2 seconds behind John Osborne. Looks like Osborne might have found a little speed here late in this run.
Yeah, he looked at his relative and saw Tristan Bailey's back up in second. He's like, I better get as far away from him as possible so I don't get wrecked. Although I have faith in Tristan Bailey. He's not intentionally wrecking, but I think it's always fun to, I think it's always fun to stir the pot a little bit.
Come back here, see what's going on. Looks like Burdick is a little bit off the pace there as Michael Carter goes around. Everybody's still staying out, still rolling. Maybe they can go farther than we thought.
Yep. We'll see. If they can make it to, at least lap 100, they can make this a 2-stopper and, absolutely destroy the strategy of everybody who pitted earlier.
If he can get 10 more laps, then it's a 1-stop race.
Yep.
King, Evans come in. Wow.
Yeah, I think they're going to make it to 100.
Well, at this point, they almost have to make it to 100. Otherwise, it's almost...
Yeah, it's almost pointless.
I was going to say, it's almost pointless because if you're running... Well, they're not really losing any time, though. That's the other thing. Like, John Osborne ran a 22.96. I mean, the fastest
they're only
car on new tires is Christopher Howe back there with a 22.15. I mean, it's not a lot of time.
No, they're only running 0.2 off of where they were running 50 laps ago. So that's excellent.
Tyler Burton coming in. Bailey in. I would have thought Osborne would have came in like right behind Bailey, but
It looks like he's I don't know if he slowed down his pace. No. Yeah, he slowed down his pace a little bit, so maybe he's saving some fuel to stretch it to make it to lap 100. Running about 6:10 lower. I mean, he's got a 14-second lead on Michael Carter, so he can afford to slow the pace down and save fuel.
that looks exactly what he's doing. He's not even, I don't think he's even getting up to full speed before he heads into turn one.
Yeah, he's just staying in fifth gear. You can hear him real slow on that throttle as he gets back into it. And Carter really isn't gaining any ground on him.
No,
He's running a faster lap time than Carter, and he's saving fuel, so...
that's insane. Wow. Randy Meeks coming in. Boughton coming in. Michael Carter in. And there's three. Yeah, he is definitely slowed down. He's running almost a half second slower than he was running like 4 laps ago.
And here he comes.
Could you imagine if a caution would have came out with only those 3 drivers on the lead lap?
My goodness.
Nice, staying out. Nash also stayed out. I think they'll probably have to come this time by. Look at where Osborne came out. Osborne came out a little over 2 seconds behind Tyler Burton, and almost 6.5 behind Tristan Bailey. But all of that will not matter if this race stays green.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we've got Nash, Denise down pit road. So Osborne going to move up a few spots there. Looks like he's gaining ground really quickly. So
And he just has to make sure he can stretch it to that 200 burn laps, and he'll be sitting pretty, as he's one of the only drivers who made it to lap 100 and basically cut this race in half.
yeah, I think what he's done that first run is figure out exactly how far he can push the car.
Caution.
That throws a wrench right into everything.
Well,
field's going to tighten up, and Osborne's going to be the one with the most fresher tires.
Yep. Let's see what happened. It was the nice.
Yeah, this is going to be a spin off of coming off of pit road.
Fresh tires, around you go.
That's one way to get the stickers off of them. Maybe not. Maybe he just. Maybe he. It's probably going to be here. It's probably going to go down on the grass.
Oh, yep. Sideways.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a stinger.
Yeah, because he had the right idea there. And everybody's getting fuel.
You know who one person who might not need fuel? Don Osborne.
Yeah. He still came down pit lane though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a splash of fuel ain't gonna hurt nothing.
I think it pretty much set everybody up on the that's their last pit stop if it stays green strategy there. But I think most of them went to lap 90 before they came down pit road anyway. Everybody's going to be taking a wave around here momentarily. Lights should go out on the pace car. There we go. So Bailey, Howell, Burden, Dominics, Miller, Ludi, Osborne, Evans, and Furtick and Michael Carter are going to wrap up the field there for the top 10 on this restart. Pace car is in. Bailey with the button as they get ready to come out of turn 4. Hit that restart zone, down and away. And we are back underway here in the Umpire Appreciation 150 from Richmond.
Bailey getting a good jump off the restart. But Tyler Burden and Christopher Howell look like they got a good restart as well.
Yeah, they kind of stayed right with him. Single fought out relatively quickly here. Aaron Miller is going to have John Osborne down to his inside. We saw how fast Osborne was in that first run. We'll see how long it takes him to make his way back up towards the front. Looks like Chris Evans went down to the inside to get by Aaron Miller. Furtick followed him through as well. Ludi up to 9th. Carter back in 10th. Well, as these guys are green flag racing, we're going to have to step aside momentarily. Take a quick break, pay some bills. As we go side by side, you won't miss anything. We'll be right back after this.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We didn't miss anything while we were away. We did catch a caution real quick there. See if we can see what happened here.
He might be a self-spin.
It's by here. No, Adam was closing in on it. Oh, yep. Carter touched Ludi. Ludi slid down the track around and almost avoided the barrels. That throws a little bit of a different strategy here into the race, as it looks like drivers back in 8th through 13 all came down and hit pit lane on that lap 116 caution. But the top 7 did not, so we'll see what happens here when we get going back green.
Yeah, I wouldn't anticipate anybody pits here. As we see the lights on the pace car are off, so we'll be going green. Leave this time by.
Pace car is in. Bailey takes the high side this time as they hit that restart zone. Down and away. And it looks like Boughton stayed with him this time. Almost even had to slide up behind him. Those two draw off from Christopher Howell and Jonathan Dominics. Howell and Dominics want to get moving here as Evans and Osborne are side by side. Osborne tried to make that inside line work and make a quick pass here on the zero machine of Chris Evans, but nothing doing at the moment. Still stuck about a lane down and hasn't been able to close in as Evans slides down in front of him.
Yeah, Christopher Evans, he had to work that high line for about a lap or two, and looks like running that high line got him completely clear of Osborne, so now he can kind of start running the bottom and keep his tires cool.
Yeah, but with that caution, that definitely set it up where if this goes green to the end, nobody should have to come down pit lane. Fastest lap of the race that last time by was a 21:44 for Tristan Bailey.
Yeah, these restarts later on in the race really force you to try and get settled back in rather quickly, because you can find yourself out of your rhythm trying to push for position, and that can end up creating a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it definitely can. Out relatively quickly once again here. Looks like Osborne hasn't been able to find the pace he had earlier in this race.
Yeah, caution will do that. Just get you out of your rhythm and shake things up and change the course of this race.
Is going on here. Looks like we got a little improvement there. Boughton up here into 8th, up 10 spots.
Tyler Boughton is doing a good job at keeping pace with Tristan Bailey, not letting him get too far ahead.
It's staying relatively close to him here. All these guys really aren't losing too much positions on the track or too much ground anyway, as Christopher Howell is still kind of about a second back from the lead. Dominic's following right behind him. Chris Evans and John Osborne as well.
Yeah, Evans getting past Osborne. Or no, I stand corrected. He was already in front of Osborne.
Yeah, he made that that zero machine wide several times here, and has just kept John Osborne back behind him. Wayne Furtick also stuck behind as well. Osborne seems to be able to close in. He just can't quite get enough momentum to make the pass.
Yeah, he might. It looks like every time he tries to go high, Evans goes high too. So he's going to have to try and figure out how Evans is running this track.
Trying everything now. He's driving a little higher, driving a little lower, trying whatever he can to get by that zero machine, and it's just not working at the moment. And while that's going on, Tristan Bailey is out to over a half-second lead now over Tyler Burton.
Yeah, it looks like almost everybody in the top 10 has shifted up a half to a whole entire lane up. And that is really going to make it difficult to pass.
Yeah,
you got to have some real discipline to be able to run so much higher than them and maintain that speed. As Osborne's got something figured out, gotten to the inside of Christopher Evans right there, but Evans still making that high line work.
Osborne
coming out of turn 4. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying Osborne had it in there, just almost slid up the track again. Had to adjust his line a little bit, but it looks like he's going to finally be able to make that pass and put Evans behind him.
Yeah, he's going to have to really get creative here and not slide up the track like that and allow Evans to just creep on his inside. He's going to have to keep being creative to keep Evans behind him and start working on Dominic's.
Pete Walsh checking in the YouTube chat. Wayne Furtick was able to use Osborne's move to get by Evans as well. Nash out here running in 12th. Aaron Miller just in front of them with a gaggle of cars. Michael Carter, Anthony Ludi just in front, but you have Ryan McCall down to the inside, kind of making it a little difficult with the lap down.
Yeah, and I agree with McCall's decision to just keep running his line. He's still in that window to be able to try and get some laps back. So if these guys want to get around him, they're going to have to work for it just a little bit.
Yeah, no. Definitely wants to maintain track position. He's not running slower lap times or anything really, so.
Looks like Osborne was able to get around Furtick. Dominic's also able to get around Furtick.
Christopher Howe coming into pit lane. I don't know on that one.
Yeah, that seems to me like an unscheduled stop, unless he just didn't take enough fuel.
Jonathan Dominic's coming in as well. Bailey, Burton, and Osborne all came in at lap 106.
Now Osborne's got some wiggle room to work with. He doesn't have to worry about making a pass for a few laps, so he can kind of run his line, settle in, and figure out exactly how he wants to try and get around Tyler Burton.
He's just got to find out what made that 11 Chevy so fast earlier and go back to doing whatever that was. Because he knows he has enough fuel to make it to the end the way he ran that first half of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. He's making some ground here, though, on Tyler Burton. He's closed that gap ever so slightly. Looks like he's really able to stick to that bottom.
Yeah, they're going to have to come up with something here because Tristan Bailey is basically about to check out on the field here as he's got about a second and a half lead now. Three of Ethan Brooks. Gonna give the bottom and let him go through.
Rather noble of him.
Yeah, there's nobody really around him. He's racing for position on the track, so. Back and look at Osborne. It looks like he might have figured something out here as he is closing in almost with every lap on Tyler Burton.
Yeah, he's creeping. He's there.
Almost had that lap car hit at just the right time there. Lost a little bit of ground that time. Boughton up here into 5th position, up 13 spots. Has that 94 Toyota moving in the right direction. Battles on track. Looks like it might be just here with some lap traffic. Nice Dominic's. Michael Carter is on the lead lap. So is Anthony Ludi, but they've got Dominic's and Denise there going back and forth trying to figure out where they need to be. That has got to be a little bit frustrating when you're racing a guy on the lead lap and there's lappers racing each other as well.
Yeah, I agree, and it looks like Dominic's might have pit because he's showing a lap down.
Yep. Yeah, he pitted on lap 50. Christopher Howell pitted on lap 149. And Denise got that penalty. He spun through.
Yeah.
Well, Burton's reeled in Bailey at least a little bit. About a half second now.
Yeah, he's cut it down about 3 or 4 tenths. The Osborne really getting to the back bumper on Tyler Burton in the corners, but Burton getting that drive off and pulling back away from him on the straightaways.
Looks like we got some lap traffic up in front of us. Looks like Christopher Roth is going to be in front of Tristan Bailey as we get to 30 to go here.
Oh, Bailey up in the wall just a little bit. Give it a little love tap.
And drives off again.
Furtick now closing in on Osborne. That's going to allow Burton to pull away just ever so slightly.
Yeah, when you have to drive out of the rear view mirror and out of the windshield, it doesn't work near as well.
It sure doesn't.
So that is the closest battle on track for position, it looks like. Burdick and Osborne. Burdick was lightning quick in practice. He posted the fastest time we've seen even through the race and including qualifying, he had a 20.96, the only driver to go into the 20s in practice. So definitely has some speed in that 51 Chevy. We'll see what he can do with it here in these closing laps.
He's gonna almost got side by side with Osborne right there.
I think he saw the lapper there and decided not to. Yeah, 16 of Douglas King. And these three are basically close enough where if anybody gets a little bit of a run, they could make a pass, but they're running almost identical lap times. Well, Boughton and Osborne ran identical lap times last time by.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get creative here. They're gonna have to try something different. But I think everybody might be a little bit cautious because they don't want to screw up, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, because, I mean, you make one little mistake and you're going to be going the other direction.
Christopher Howell trying to get his lap back the hard way, just in case we get a caution, he can stay on the lead lap.
They're trying to race around everybody, and that just put a wrench into Dwayne Furtick's plans, as that gap to Osborne was under half a second. Now it is almost a second gap with two lap cars between him, Dominics and Howell, as they're trying to get by Osborne, Boughton, and Bailey to get their laps back the hard way.
Yeah, I mean that's just the nature of the beast. I mean, they've got the position to do it, and they've got the tires to do it. So no fault there on either of those guys. It's got to be frustrating as a lead lap car trying to fight around lap traffic, but if you think about it at the same time, those guys have a race to run too.
Bailey back out to over a second again.
Ooh, all these guys should have enough fuel. If our calculations are correct, you still never know.
Yeah, 16 to go. And it looks like Osborne has fell off as Furtick is able to get by. And Boughton also has fallen off a little bit as Christopher Howell and Jonathan Dominics got by. And they are trying to get their lap back the hard way now, racing with Kristen Bailey. Howell almost clear. It looks like he will clear if Dominics can get his lap back, diving in here into the corner.
This is good hard racing by everybody right here.
Yeah, nobody can fault Dominics and Howell for trying to get their laps back. They came in, they pitted on lap 150 and 149, so they definitely have the freshest tires out there. Tristan Bailey doesn't need to worry about them. He just has to worry about the drivers behind him, Tyler Burton and Dwayne Furtick. And right now they're about a second behind him. So as long as he drives his race nice and smooth, 13 laps, we can call him a winner.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend here with Tristan Bailey. He doesn't seem to overdrive no matter what happens, right? You've seen him get into that little scuffle with John Osborne early in the race. He fell back to, I believe, 9th, worked his way back up, now into the lead. So he's got a good head of shoulders on him, and I got to give him credit for that.
Yeah. Burton trying to go by 20. Randy Meeks. Osborne got back by Furtick.
Yeah, Furtick looked like he had some steam there, but you saw him go down on the bottom of the track and looks like he slowed down a little bit and let Osborne go by.
It looks like he's trying to figure out what was going on there, but still going in the right direction here. Has almost a 4-second lead to the driver in 5th, so no real hurry here on Furtick's part.
And Furtick getting stuck 3 wide in between 2 lap cars.
It looks like Chris Evans up in front of him. Six laps to go. Tristan Bailey has just been lightning quick here tonight.
Yeah, that's just a result of consistency, right? Running clean, consistent lap times throughout the duration of the race is going to be a whole lot more efficient than running a crap ton fast in the beginning and then being forced to run slow at the end.
Yeah, fastest 5-lap average, Tristan Bailey at 22.78. Don Osborne at 22.80, so. Three to go here.
Bunch of lap traffic up in front of Bailey.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's going to slow him down here. But, I mean, he has almost a 1.5-second lead, so as long as he can kind of methodically work his way around at least a couple of them, he should be fine. As Osborne and Burton are battling here for P2. Gonna have to have that settled before they come up on this lap traffic, or it could be bad for either one of them. White flag is out. Tristan Bailey, couple more corners, and he will bring home the victory here as he comes down the backstretch. Kent Mueller bounces off the outside wall. Bailey gonna roll through nice and easy through turn 4. come pick up the checkered flag. Winner of the Umpire Appreciation 150 here at Richmond Raceway. Osborne was able to stick his nose out and get P2. Tyler Burton, P3. Furtick, 4th. Boughton, 5th. Carter, 6th. Ludi, 7th. Howell, 8th. And Dominic's 9th.
Yeah, that looked like it was literally only half a hood that Osborne got out in front of Burden. But like Dominic Toretto says, doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning.
Definitely is. Let's see here. I can bring in Tyler Burden for you. There you go, Joe.
Tyler Burden, this is Front Row Joe up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, and I'm not doing anything that would get me in trouble.
Yeah, we kind of we saw that battle right there with you and John Osborne and fighting around some lap traffic. How difficult was that, and how deep into your emotions are you willing to share about that exchange?
Number one, really sweaty. 2, the thing about it is like when I say that, I'm telling you, like, I have my force feedback cranked up. Like, mine is at max. So I'm running these races at max force feedback. So when I'm telling you I'm sweating, that's because I put in a workout. 3, like that race in there at the end, like, some of the lap cars was a bit of an annoyance, but 0.003 thousandths of a second for second place. That's awesome. Like, I wish that we could get some good racing like that everywhere, but unfortunately these cars are not conducive to that. I would say that's an anomaly, but man, what an incredible race. That was an incredible race by me and Tristan. I can't believe that we ran it like that. I'm pretty excited because my birthday's like what, couple weeks, and I've got a bunch of race car parts and I'm ready to start putting a race car together. I'm having a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you know, I've been in those situations before, right? Where some of these races that you have the most fun and excitement in, and you end up not getting the win is still sometimes even more exciting and fun than getting a win, right? Racing somebody hard, coming to the end, down to the wire. You guys are going back and forth. Then you throw lap traffic right in the mix, and it forces you to have to think outside the box. And when it comes down to the wire like that, and you're fighting for it, you're holding on to that wheel, your force feedback is at max, you're sweating, you're dripping, and you just come away with it, and you're like, man. So I know the feeling, man, and that was an excellent job between everybody in the race. And, you know, you came away with a third place finish.
The second place.
Second. Oh, so you did come away with the second place.
Yeah, I came with second. Did you grab the wrong person?
No, we took Tyler.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, the results are showing that
scoring are showing you third, but it was
the
back
results
and
in Sim are showing me second.
Well, there you go. Wow.
Let's take a look.
Let's see if
Yeah, Tyler Burton. Showing Tyler Burton is in second according to the iRacing results. Wow. Yeah. So
there you go.
And that's why the results are unofficial on the board. So, ladies and gentlemen, we stand corrected. Tyler Burton finished second. So we're not interviewing the third place finisher. It's the second place finisher. So even more exciting.
Yeah, that like I'm saying, 0.003 of a second is like a hair. You know that what was it at Talladega that one time? They had 0.00, yeah, they had 0.003, or maybe it was Daytona with Mark Martin and um Kevin Harvick. I can't remember.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
even more for congratulations on that. So that's
Which I got to tell you, coming out of 4, like I let the car roll, and then I'm like, I'm laying my foot in it. I don't care if it spins out or anything. I'm just going for it, and it
Yep.
pulled. So
not lifted until you see God or the checkered flag. So, but I'm a little curious about the race car you're building, but that'll probably be another time, another place. But with all that being said, coming away with the second place finishes, we look on that replay right here is you guys go down into 4, or down into 3, Osborne on the inside and you on the outside, and there it is. Heck yeah. So Tyler, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done tonight?
I just want to thank all the Eons guys. Rowdy Travis Designs. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I was running a Kyle Busch CarQuest car. I wasn't a big fan of Kyle, but my buddy Chris, he was a big Kyle Busch fan, and you know, even though I wasn't a big fan of him, I didn't really like him for most of his career. I'll call a ball, and I'll call a strike. He was one hell of a driver. Like he could wheel a race car. So I'll give him that. You know, Tristan, Ryan McCall had some issues, family stuff come up, so he didn't get the finish he wanted, and he kind of was just riding around, but we appreciate him coming out and helping us out and all that. Yeah, my mom and dad, my dad for getting me into racing. I'm technically I'm building 2 race cars. I'm building one that's a drag car because we're trying to get my niece into racing, and another car is a road race car. So, um, but yeah, we're just here hanging out, spending time with family, and trying to have as much fun as possible.
That's awesome, man. So ladies and gentlemen, your second, not third place finisher, Tyler Boughton. Tyler, we congratulate you on your finish, and we will see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
Hey, John, Mike up here in the booth. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Not too much. Well, that was a heck of a battle there and finish between you and Tyler Boughton. Looks like he might have got the better of it at the very end, but still a tough battle there with that 11 Chevy.
You know, I didn't want to rough him up there. I got into his teammate earlier in the race and definitely didn't even mean to do that. You know, me and Tristan were just talking about that in the waiting room. You know, I didn't anticipate to push that tight when I was, you know, getting underneath him there. You know, because he caught me, got by me. I wasn't shifting, so he was. And I was like, I'm still not going to shift, and I started inching back closer to him. You know, I was going to try to see if I could get like just ahead of him and then shift in the next corner, and I probably would have got by, and then we would have been fine. But I didn't shift. It didn't shift. I think I tried in turn 3, and it didn't go down, and I probably didn't click it hard enough or just missed it. And so I went up the track and bumped him, got him loose, and you know, I did my best to back off there so I didn't turn him. But yeah, at the end of the race, I didn't want to get into Tyler there. I thought I had him, and but the 0 got behind him just with enough time. I think gave him just a little bit of a boost to get by me there for outside podium. But yeah, it was a good night, man. That you know, the 40 spinning there really killed me. I Tyler and Tristan neither could make it on fuel. I had done it where I could do it in one stop. I didn't know what the strategy was going to be. Dwayne and me and my teammate Dwayne, we talked about it, and really the option was to kind of split it into threes, which I thought was what was going to happen. But a lot of people weren't pitting, so I was like, well, hey, I guess I'm just going to try to make it all the way to lap 100 or 101. And then just try to do it on one stop because the car was really fast in the long run, and that's exactly what we did. Now, I had flat wore my right front out, but had enough to make it. And so when I came out knowing that they couldn't make it, nor anybody else in front of me could make it, I was just like, well, I'm just going to back it down and just kind of run comfortable here because I was going to coast. But then the caution comes out, and I was like, well, that's all out the window. And so, I think I only had 2 laps on my tires. I probably could have stayed out and came out with the lead, but I was worried about tires, so I came down, and I think a lot of those guys took 2 and I took 4. But man, dirty air in these things is just so bad, and I couldn't get. Tyler did a good job of aero blocking there for a very, very long time, and I was trying to be as patient as I could to not burn my stuff up, and I was trying to run where he wasn't, but he just kept running the top. And you just can't get a good run on the bottom. Even if you got better tires, they're going to have a better drive off, which is going to cause you to put more wheel into it. And so I was surprised I got underneath him there, coming to 1 to go. His teammate got down low, but we were able to kind of split him, but he had the advantage on the outside. So that was probably the difference there. But yeah, overall, man, a really good night, led a bunch of laps, which I could have led the most, but nope. So I don't even know where we're at next week. Where are we at?
Let's find out. I was just looking at it. Let's see. We are at Echo Park, Atlanta. No, Pocono.
Oh, Pocono.
Pocono,
Okay,
and then
very,
Chicago.
Very, very good track for me. Pocono is. There will be shifting there for sure. Definitely look forward to that race. The old tricky triangle. Overall, good night. And, I wish I could have finished 2 spots ahead to go back to back. But, I haven't historically been very, very good here. And I don't know what changed. I guess the current configuration of the car maybe is what's helped me, but the car felt good all night.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it did. Well, before we get you out of here tonight, anybody else you want to thank?
Yeah, I definitely want to thank my teammate Dwayne. Appreciate him. All the input me and him share back and forth pays dividends, and it's been working well. All season. So I definitely appreciate him. I don't think I could ask for a better teammate. He's a good one. So Legion Incorporated Racing. I appreciate me and him being there. We might want to try to add some others. I know we had one, and he decided to leave. Which of his own accord, which is fine. But definitely want to thank Adam and Kent for all that they do at Elite Cup Racing. Love racing here, a lot of fun. Thank you, Mike, and Front Row Joe up here in the booth. Sim Racing Media as a whole. I think y'all have been with us for 3 years now, or maybe even longer than that.
Something like that, at least that.
So, I've had the pleasure and honor to have many interviews with everybody that you guys have up in the booth. So appreciate y'all and what y'all do. I want to thank my dad. I know he promised he was going to watch tonight. He's fallen asleep in the last couple races because these are pretty late at night, and I don't hold him. I'll hold that against him. But anyway, yeah, man. That's it.
All right. Well, congrats on your 3rd place finish here tonight, and we'll see what you can do at Pocono next week.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then.
All right, Joe, I will bring in Tristan Bailey for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first place finisher tonight, Tristan Bailey. Tristan, how's it going?
It's going good. What's up, man?
Not nothing much, man. Exciting race. We kind of looked like you were down and out early on in the race, but you were able to kind of bounce back and level yourself off and work your way back into victory lane, man. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, just excited to get the win for my friend that passed away. Was it 2 weeks ago now? Something like that. Yeah, no. So I'm glad to get the win for him, and I don't know, just hard to pass, honestly. I just think this car gets worse and worse. But it was a fun driving there. I started on pole, let them go, trying to save a little bit, and then I passed them back, and then got tagged, fell back to sixth, then try to pass people on tires again. It was weird up and down race a little bit there. And it just seemed like once the guy in front, once they had clean air, it was just so hard to catch him.
Yeah, I agree, man. And let's go here for a minute. And it looks like, as you said, that your friend that was Justin Davis, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is this? What does this kind of mean to you in terms of what you're able to do to remember your friend and to be able to come out here and get the win, and try and make the best out of the uncontrollable situations that we experience.
It makes me feel good. It's just if that man to have bad luck, I mean, if he had any luck, it was bad luck all the time. He was hunting one down, and he's not a small guy. He's like 6'7", 200 something pounds, almost 300. He was hunting one time, and there was a wildfire in the woods where he hunted at. Well, he didn't check his tree stand that was strapped to a tree. Well, he climbed up in it, sat there hunting, and then all of a sudden he felt it break, and he fell down. Almost pretty much broke his back. He kind of like played it off. He went home and then had to be rushed to the hospital in the middle of the night because his spleen had ruptured and he didn't know it. You know, fast forward a couple months, he got better. He came back to work, and then, like I said, 2-3 weeks ago, he unexpectedly passed away, and it kind of hurt really bad because I mean, he had 2 kids or 1 kid. I know. And it just really hurt because, once you have kids, you kind of look at it differently than a lot of people do look at it that doesn't have kids and her family, like wife and stuff like that. And he had just got married last year in August, so he was coming up on his anniversary, and he had been, just he was a family man. He loved his kids, and it just sucks that he got taken pretty early. He's only a year older than me, and I'm 28. So, like I said, it makes you look at life differently, and it just glad I can get the win for him, and praise for his family, and hope his family's doing all right.
Yeah, that's all we can do, man. It sounds like that he really meant a lot to you. And our condolences go out to you. They go out to his family, and we're thankful that you're here running with ECR. And we love watching you come back week to week, and as we say in the booth, doing what Tristan Bailey does. So before we let you go, Tristan, who do you want to thank and who helped you come away with this win tonight here at Richmond?
I want to thank you guys for broadcasting, and thanks Adam and all the admins for running the league, and thanks to my teammates, Eons. We try to practice a lot, just most of us don't really have a lot of time, and we did a little bit of practice Friday night in the league practice, and we found something we liked, but we changed it on this practice for this race, and it seemed to work out. I had decent speed on the long run. It was weird. Like, you couldn't overstep it just a tad bit, or the car would be so much slower. So, just thanks to Tyler. See he eked out John there for second place by 3/1000ths.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting race, and you came away with the win. So we'll leave this one on a high note. Congratulations on your win, And we look forward to seeing you back next week at Pocono.
All right, man. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have a good night.
You too, man.
All right, let's go ahead and bring up the rest of the race results. As you see, Tristan Bailey, Tyler Burton, John Osborne were the top 3 finishers. Got Dwayne Furtick, Adam Boughton, Michael Carter, Anthony Ludi, Christopher Howell, Jonathan Dominics, and Aaron Miller round out that top 10. Tristan Bailey led the most laps, fastest lap, pole position. Only 2 cautions here tonight for a total of 9 laps, so definitely did a lot of work here, did ECR. With that being said, anything you want to say before we wrap it up here, Joe?
Yeah, I again, week after week, I know it's kind of repetitive, but if I don't say these things, I won't feel good about myself. So, I'm just thankful to be here with Sim Racing Media and being able to broadcast for the Elite Cup series. And, I look forward to come back week after week, not just because I like broadcasting, but because of the community that we've established. Not only at Sim Racing Media, but just in iRacing, as a whole. So just glad to be here, glad to do it. And, I look forward to keep doing it and see what we come away with next week at Pocono.
Definitely, man. Well, from all the drivers of the ECR NextGen Cup League and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you guys a good night. We'll see you next week at Pocono.